Before today's episode begins, I want to give a huge shout out to Lawrence Skip Long, good old Skippy Jones. He has been on Jeopardy. He is a local Winston-Salem man who's been on Jeopardy for the last 4 days. I think he lost on Thursday, but it doesn't matter. That man could not be stopped. Oh my God, self-proclaimed stay-at-home uncle. God, give me that true daily double. Skippy, this episode is dedicated to you. If anyone can get me in contact with that man, please, I would love to interview him. So how's it going, everybody? My name is Daniel from Hazardous Entertainment, and welcome back to some more Minecraft Build the Earth Winston-Salem. Today, we are working on something that is long overdue. We are going to be working here on just the tip of 100 North Main, the classic Wells Fargo Tower, the iconic landmark that makes up Winston-Salem. We had done many different attempts, but it's something that we've just glossed over. We just haven't gotten around to doing because it was such a complicated build. I mean, we're already at an angle here and we're curving it, and it's actually not a proper dome. It's a weird octagon sort of thing. But today we're going to be taking an opportunity to get into this. And the best way we can get into it is actually by destroying this dome that I've built up here, because this is not going to work. We're going to be employing a completely new technique that we've never used before. And before I do, I have this sign up here just so I can remind myself how tall the dome needs to be. It needs to be 419 blocks tall, and I think this is actually too tall. Right now. Yeah, 224, so we're a little bit off. We're off by 5 blocks. So we're gonna just disassemble this whole dome, and once I do that, I will get back with you guys. Okay, so with the power of World Edit, we have gone ahead and gotten rid of all of that dome structure. I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of work that's just gone to the wayside, but we're gonna be trying something completely different. So as you can see here, I've added these handles off to the side because we need to be selecting this whole region. The dome is not important to us. All I need is this small sliver of building right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this. I've been experimenting with this concept off screen, but I've never fully gone through with it. So today is gonna be all about experimentation. So I got this whole area selected. We're gonna copy this, and we are gonna bring this with us. Let's come over here just a bit, and this will be good right here. And we shall paste this here, and boom, we have a duplicate of the top of our building. So this is where the dome is going to begin on the building. Let's go ahead and deselect that area over there. And the next step is going to be unrotating this. So this is at an interesting rise run, but I don't want to work with that rise run. I want to work with straight on with the Minecraft grid, because that is going to simplify every problem that we have. Normally I do all my buildings at the angle that they already come in to build the earth, but today it's just going to be too complicated not to do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to stand on the corner of this right here, and I'm going to copy this, copy that, and we are going to come up here and bop up 1 block, and we're going to rotate 18 degrees. I think it's 18. It's either negative 18 or 18 degrees. I think it's 18 degrees. And I've found that that is the best angle to put ourselves at. Yep. That is going to give us a nice straight grid. So if we look at it on the map here, you can see that what we had originally is this at this nice angle, and then this is now our new orientation. So if I deselect all of that, you notice it's a bit of a jumbled mess in here. But that's okay, because we're gonna fix that. It's a part of the process we gotta fix. Okay, so let's see. So we're gonna use this. Now, luckily we have this median line I made out of wood here. So we're gonna come in and tidy all of this up here. We're just gonna make these lines cut straight through. And now we can get a better idea of where our center line is. So I think what I need is, I think it's 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think, and then right here begins our angle. So if I was to come in here and plop that in, I think if I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then pop that, and that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 once again. Yep, so that's gonna be how we're gonna straighten this and neaten this up. So what we have here, essentially, the setup of, we're gonna have an octagon, because the dome is not a circle, it's an octagon. And we're going to have, essentially, these diagonal lines of technically 10, and then from here to here, it's gonna be a 19 long straight lines here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in and clean all of that up. and I will get back to you guys once I have cleaned that up. This is the big problem with messing with the rotate command, is that you end up with a lot of weird problems. And when we re-rotate this, let's say we were going to build the whole dome up, and when we re-rotate this in, we are going to run into problems again. We're going to have to neaten up a lot of stuff. But never fear, because I never do. I never fear. Okay, so we have our, almost done. Got a few more blocks to replace here. Okay, and we have our straightened up shape now. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this lower piece because I no longer need it, because I didn't screw anything up, because I'm a genius. And we are going to get started on this dome. Now comes the fun part. So here is our beautiful, beautiful template. And I am gonna leave those little arms there. I think we'll get rid of them eventually, but I'm gonna leave them there for now, just in case I need them. And let's see. So where do we begin? Well, we begin by understanding how wide our dome is, because that's gonna tell us what we're going to do. So essentially what I'm gonna do is from this line over here to this line over here, I'm going to make a circle, like a semicircle kind of thing, but not a true one, because this is not a semicircle. That's the problem. It's a dome that's not accurate in any sort of way. These pieces go out to the edge here. So this, imagine there's a curve right along here to the other side of that. They go to the edges. These ones are offset by about 1 meter. So there's actually an inner smaller dome that goes in at all 4 corners. It's like slices of an orange that are pushed in at certain angles. It's very odd, but I've done it before. If you've seen the thumbnail for the very first BTE video, I clearly had a done, finished Wells Fargo tower, and it's because I did it once. So I know I'm capable of doing it again. It's just a matter of doing it. I just need to figure out. So how wide across is this? Let's see. Okay, 1 and 2. So we're gonna need to go off a template of a 41 meter wide circle. And luckily, right here on my other computer, I have a circle set diagram. So I've got a 41 set circle. Yep, that's looking like what I've got here on screen. So here's our center. And if you remember at the beginning, we're going up to 419. So I'm gonna grab this and we're just going to come up. We're at 4. Oh no, we're at 418. Oh, what's the difference? So what's, oh no. No. I forgot. Okay, hold on. Here, a simple answer to this. All right, we're gonna go up to 419 over here. And then we're just gonna copy and paste this. That's the simple way to do it. I could do all the math that's required to do it, but I'm not going to. Just come here and do a / copy and bring this bad boy all the way over here. And this is gonna determine how tall our dome is. And it might be accurate, but there may come a point in here where we go, that looks terrible, and we wanna make it taller. And we can absolutely do that, but I think we're gonna be fine. Yeah, I think we may be fine. That'll be good. So let's see what a 41-inch circle looks like on here. So I'm gonna make one out of quartz, going from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can find circle guides anywhere online. They're very easy to find. And once you get into the understanding of how a circle is supposed to go, you'll have an easier time making circles. And so I have no problem with this. Okay, let's see. But it's not gonna be a circle, but I'm gonna build this circle up anyway just to see how things go. And this is where it's saying it would meet at the center, and it is. And we are actually 3 blocks too tall. So what that tells me, and now we have an idea of what our shape is gonna end up looking like. And you can see that's looking pretty good. That looks pretty accurate. The problem is I think that the Wells Fargo building is more of a like, again, it's more like slices. It's more like a tulip that's kind of meeting at the center. So it's a little less, I may just keep it domular just for the simplicity's sake, but it can't have it that tall. So maybe we get rid of this midsection here, bump up. And then I think 1, 2, 3, 4, aha. Okay, so that's odd. I do not like it at all. Let's see how we can maybe fix that. Because now it's technically accurate. I gotta see a picture of this thing. Jeez Louise, I don't know. I think for simplicity's sake, we're just gonna go with a dome, and I think it's just gonna be taller. So I think that's gonna be the thing. See, I think that was the real concern, is this gonna look weird? The problem is it's gonna look weirder if I don't adapt for height. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's just how it's gonna have to be, and I think that's gonna be the simplest thing. I may come in and change the dome yet again at some point in the future, but I just don't know. I do not know what the answer is. Maybe the answer is that we're too... I actually may have an answer for our problem here. If I go like this, if I go cut, and I go paste, you'll notice what I've done is I have sunken it down lower, because we're forgetting the fact that over there, as you can see over in the distance, there actually is more straight line here than we're remembering here. So that is going to be a curve. Yeah, I actually like that better. I like that a lot. Now, I'm going to put up a picture of this. So you can see here that as it goes up, it comes to this curved in top. So what I'm going to do is start down here and build up from here and bring it to a center. And I think that center is going to be about 7 blocks long. So wish me luck on this. I'm going to probably time lapse this. It's going to be a really, really big challenge. I want to go ahead and explain what I'm doing here. I am coming in and I've created a line of wool that basically acts as our line of removal. So anything that is in line with this wool above me is going to get removed. And everything that's over is going to also do that. It's going to make sure I have a straight line as I'm removing all of this excess quartz to kind of, to create this curved in effect that I'm going for. And now I'll gut this whole end here, and in the end, and if my theory is correct, and I believe it is, I should end up with a nice lined in curve that's going to appease, I think so. I'll need to check a reference image real fast. Yeah, I think that's gonna look good. Let's grab the other side and then double check that. Yeah, and I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, especially down from here. That is looking like what I want to do. And now we have built one. And so the beauty of domular objects is that we have done one, and we can now essentially come in here and it's gonna grab all of that. Let's cut in two real fast. Yep, do that. And so now we have selected the whole region. And I'm gonna come here and we're going to rotate this 90 degrees each time, going clockwise. I think, yeah. So we'll do a copy. I think I come over to this side. That's what I'm worried about, doing the wrong thing. And I will paste -A. So that's gonna make sure that what have I done? Did I rotate? I didn't rotate. So we're gonna rotate 90 first. And we're going to do paste -A. That'll make sure none of our air interferes with our other build. And I think, yep, that is looking all right. Okay, now we'll come over and just repeat that process on the other two sides if we don't miss the railing. And there you have it. That is our dome, pretty close to being done. Now we are getting actually further along than I expected we'd be at this point. And now comes the fun part, and this is doing this. Now these aren't technically a dome here. This is a like a straight line. So technically, and let me do this. And I'm gonna keep this whole operation pretty standard. I'm gonna use magenta wool for this, and we'll turn it all into quartz at the end. It's just for me to look at and make sure that everything is going right. So I'm gonna come in here and we're gonna freehand this. This is where the fun begins. And I'm just gonna jut in by a block layer. I might come in 2 layers with it. I think I'm going to. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is like this. 1, 2. We're gonna come in, we're gonna get rid of these in here, leave that yellow line for the purposes of restarting if we need to. And I think I'm gonna come in here and just curve up. So if I pretend, okay, so I'm gonna come in here and put a blue in. And this is our spacer. So that means that there has to be, this space must be empty for all of this to continue working, for that illusion of, you know, a smaller shape inside a bigger shape to accurately work. And again, we only have to build this once, because once we build it one time, we can just duplicate it on all 4 sides. Okay, so that is what I've come up with. So the problem is I'm looking at the dome here, and it's not inset the entire time. It actually like lines up after a while. So here's what I'm thinking. So at the bottom, it definitely will be this inset at the bottom. Once we move up to this mid section, so it's like 3 sections of tier growth. So right here, we're gonna match this blue. We're gonna start matching the blue essentially. Then, once we get like here, we're going to match with the white, right? Okay, right here, we still go here, right? Okay, so I'm gonna just fill in this whole section as if I was gonna leave it like this, and we'll put a top layer of quartz on and see what happens. I like that, I'm into that. And now if I was to just go, okay, end of the line, here we go. Oh, nope, bring that green back. And then do that. And that should bring us up to our top. Okay. So after much trial and tribulation and pain and suffering, I have made the most unnecessary detail to ever grace the face of BTE. But now, should everything work out, I think I can come in here, and I'm gonna try to remove all this purple in here first. I don't want to have to go in and remove shit after the fact. So I think what we're gonna do is remove all this magenta up to a point when we start peeking through air. This will make sure that we are 1 layer thin. If we can do this whole section properly, we can just copy and paste this everywhere we go. I think we're finally, one more. I think we're fine. Okay. Yes. So that right there, weird looking from the inside and even weirder looking from the outside, I think is our dome. As you can see, it's like 2 layers inset here, 1 layer inset here, and no layers inset up here. So now, God forbid, what I'm gonna do is first off, we're gonna select a piece of the pie. We're gonna select a whole piece of the pie by coming out here with some grass. And we're gonna take this corner, and we're going to copy it. And we're gonna do exactly what we did last time, copy. And we're gonna rotate over, I was on this side, so I come here. I'm gonna do a / rotate 90, paste -A. Oh, please work. Oh, God in heaven, please work. Oh, did I mess up the command? I pate. Please work. Okay, now we're talking. And now you could go in at this point, I suppose, and you could do like a half copy, half paste, but I already have all the commands in here, so it's much easier to just paste -A. Okay. We have a dome. I'm looking at it on every monitor I've got just to see how it looks from different angles. Yep. That's looking pretty good. Now, we can take this whole thing. Let's get rid of these handles because we no longer need those handles. No longer need these handles. I just had to make sure. I'm so worried because now we have to do this. Or it's gonna be fine. We made a nice looking dome. We have to rotate it and it's gonna fuck up a lot of the really nice detailing I did. I should have just put a dome. I should have just made a sphere. But I'm not. I'm too smart. So there, okay. That looks really good. I actually approve of that build. You can see why we went to all the trouble of making sure that we had all of this weird detailing. I can get rid of this little hangover here as well. This is no longer needed. So now we have to take this. And oh, before we do that, I forgot. I need to finish this. So at the top of the building, gotta look at my photos once again. At the top of the building, the very tippity-toppity. So it's like an octagon at the very top. So what I need to do is come here and make an octagon. Oh, why am I lagging? It does not, the sphere is too powerful. Okay, get rid of this, get rid of this. Because there's like a weird little thing. Is that like that's about as close as we can get it, I think, right? That's about as close as we can do. And we will do that. Just make a nice little, it's like a little, because this whole dome is a bunch of panels. Granite panels, I found out. White granite paneling. It is one of the largest buildings, I think maybe one of the only buildings with that much, like fully domed in quartz. The entire dome is held up, like if you go into it, it's just a bunch of scaffolding and everything. It's literally, technically, I think it's an exterior space. So I remember there was like a rumor when I was a kid that there was like a ballroom in there. There is technically, I think, a conference room nearish the top, but it is not like a big room in the dome. The dome itself is not a room. Why am I lagging? It might be the server and not my actual client. All right, so let's try to take that. So that is our dome, our domity dome. And now comes the really fun game of, I want to rotate and I don't think it's gonna work. Just come right over here and rotate -18. And that should negate the initial rotation we did. Copy, paste, and let's see what it does. Did it do it? Oh no! It's technically all there. I'll tell you one thing, it's technically there. What happened here? What is this? What happened? What happened? That should technically... Okay, actually, I have a jumping off point here I want to go over. Okay, new answer. Drag and drop it onto... Okay, new solution. Okay, so now I'll be able to stand on that thing when I paste it. When I copy and when I paste it. And this might actually help us out a bit. Because it's not trying to rotate it around this whole axis, it's just trying to rotate it here. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm not centered up on the actual object. So let's do copy. Let's do rotate -18. All right, ladies and germaphobes, hold on to your butts. This is about to get intense. Paste. What do you say? Oh, that's much better. Okay, so that was the problem. I was pasting like, so I was standing here. So this is my pivotal point, right? If this is the build, my hand is the build. This is the pivotal point, was the center. So when I was over here, the whole thing was like rotating at this weird, you know, and that's probably actually another part of the reason we had to neaten up the thing so much, like the little, you know, the dome at the beginning. So this is actually better than that one over there. This is much better, in fact. I only have to plug up a few holes. See, the top here is actually symmetrical when you look at it. And that extra hole in here is only due to the fact that I had a hole inside of here to begin with. So let me plug in these holes here. All right, now the real question becomes, so I've plugged a couple of holes and I'm looking at it. Is it just me or does it feel short? I don't know. It just feels not right. But it is. But that's the problem. Because all these photos show it like from these tall angles, like a low angle or a high angle. That's what it looks like a lot of the time. Maybe if I come up here, I'll get that more cinematic look. I'm just trying to find a look that like matches what I've done here. We'll call that. I think we'll have to call that what it is. I'll plug in the rest of those holes as well. I might bring in an expert. There may be somebody out there who does domes better. There's totally somebody who knows domes better than I. Somebody has to have done a Duomo somewhere or a big building with a dome on it, and they know way more about it than I do. But that's the best that I can do, and I'm pseudo-satisfied with it. I mean, I'm satisfied with that. That looks fine, and maybe it needs to be taller. I don't know. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe if I redid all the work I just did and made it taller, that'd be fine. But either way, I think I'm gonna call today's episode there. I may come back next episode at the beginning and I may have done something differently, or I may have found somebody, but I think, I mean, yeah, I can tell what that is. You get the picture, and I'll neaten it up and I'll clean it up and it'll look really nice. So I think that wraps it up for today's episode. That's the problem with Build the Earth, is it's so hard to make these things accurate, but we try our best, and maybe we'll learn. The dome may be something we just retry over and over and over again. But I suppose that does it for me today. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell notification, or else you won't get every single update that comes your way, because for some reason subscribing doesn't mean anything anymore. But as always, my name is Daniel, and I will see you guys next time.